We are back with more breaking news in the Jay-Z, Sean Diddy, Combs, Tony Buzbee, Quinn Emanuel legal saga that has just enveloped the media, friends. So we now have former clients of Tony Buzbee who are claiming that they have been approached by private investigators that were allegedly utilized by Quinn Emanuel, Jay-Z's lawyers, to try to solicit Tony Buzbee's ex-clients to sue him, bring legal malpractice claims and bring other claims against his law firm. So we're going to jump right in and talk about a complaint that was filed by a plaintiff by the last name of Garcia, who is a former client of Tony Buzbee's. And on Wednesday, plaintiff Gerardo Garcia, a former Buzbee law firm client, alleges that he was approached by a private investigator claiming to work for the state of Texas. This investigator, named Jessica Santiago, allegedly tried to convince Garcia to join a class action lawsuit accusing Buzbee of stealing from maritime injury clients. Garcia says he recorded his call with Santiago, and a transcript of the call shows the investigator allegedly explaining that their class action suit would accuse Tony Buzbee of taking injured seamen's checks and loaning the money back to clients with interest. Claims that match two recent single plaintiff complaints filed in Louisiana federal court. The suit also includes an affidavit from another former Buzbee client saying that she was offered $10,000 to bring litigation against the firm, and a transcript of investigators supposedly telling a different ex-client that they gave this kid $1,000 to start yesterday. Garcia's suit lodges claims against Rock Nation, which is Jay-Z's company, Quinn Emanuel, the law firm representing Jay-Z, Marcy Croft, a lawyer who works at Quinn Emanuel, MJ Legal, and Jessica Santiago, the private investigator, for illegal solicitation and civil conspiracy. It warns that more legal actions are coming down the pike. So let's jump right in, friends, to the actual complaint that was filed by plaintiff Gerardo Garcia. And I have that up here on the screen. It says that this is filed against the plaintiff Gerardo Garcia, a former client of Tony Buzbee, against defendants Marcy Brian Croft, a lawyer at Quinn Emanuel, MJ Legal PA, investigator Jessica Santiago, Rock Nation LLC, which is Jay-Z's company, and Quinn Emanuel, Ugbert and Ughart and Sullivan LLP, which is abbreviated as Quinn Emanuel, which is the law firm representing Jay-Z. He's seeking damages, and he respectfully shows this honorable court the following. The complaint alleges that defendant has conspired to obstruct justice by engaging shadowy operatives to illegally seek out more than 24 current and former clients of the Buzbee law firm to convince those clients to bring frivolous cases against the Buzbee law firm. Defendant Rock Nation is financing the effort, according to this complaint. Its attorneys, Marcy Croft and Quinn Emanuel, are orchestrating the effort. In some cases, defendants' agents pretend to work for the state of Texas and have flashed fake badges. Oh, wow. That's pretty extreme. And they cite to Exhibit 1, which is a transcript between Jessica Santiago and Gerardo Garcia, because this plaintiff claims that he recorded a telephone conversation between him and this private investigator, Jessica Santiago. Quote, exactly, we have like 70 people that are in this class action, and there will be more. You are on the list, but we have other people too. Today, I'm visiting with you and with 3 more people who will sign up to be in the lawsuit, and it will increase daily. We have more pages with people. I don't know how many, but there are many. And if there are more people in the class action, that is better for you, because that means that you will collect something. So that's, and then they cite Exhibit 1, the transcript between Jessica Santiago and Gerardo Garcia, where she represents We Are From the State. So, defendants' agents pretend to work for the state of Texas and have flashed fake badges. Soliciting clients is a crime in the state of Texas. Paying individuals to file false claims is unethical and criminal in the state of Texas. Impersonating a state official is a crime. In at least one case, defendants' agents offered as much as $10,000 to a former client of the Buzbee law firm to sue the firm. Wow, friends, that's a very serious allegation that they are lodging here. They're basically saying that Jay-Z's attorneys have been soliciting Tony Buzbee's former clients in order to try to convince them to sue Tony Buzbee's law firm. And that is a crime in Texas, to solicit individuals to file false claims. And of course, Quinn Emanuel alleges that these claims are false. Tony Buzbee's firm alleges that these claims are false. So, it says, unfortunately for the defendants, their agents are not very smart or careful. Their agents were caught on audio tape, red-handed. Not knowing they were being recorded, defendants' agents admitted that defendant Mary Croft, a licensed Texas lawyer and member of Team Rock, was orchestrating the effort. And in another recording, those agents described the criminal conspiracy in great detail, going so far as to admit that the lawsuits would be in the press and that some former clients had already accepted money to join the effort. Rock Nation and Jay-Z are synonymous. Jay-Z is the founder and chairman of Rock Nation. At the same time, the illegal conduct described herein continues. The Buzbee law firm is pursuing claims on behalf of at least one client against Jay-Z in New York federal court. And as a result of that client's claims, Jay-Z sued the Buzbee law firm in Los Angeles State Court. Defendant Quinn Emanuel, who represents Jay-Z in both cases and who has frequently represented Rock Nation, denied in open court and the press involvement in the scheme described herein. That denial was a bold-faced lie. Oh, dang, they capitalized LIE. The illegal effort described here, which Rock Nation is funding and defendant Croft and defendant Quinn Emanuel are orchestrating, is intended to interfere with the Buzbee law firm's ability to represent its clients and offer pertinent evidence to authorities. Interesting. So they have an affidavit as Exhibit 3 of Shannon Champagne. The defendants were aggressive. The men offered me money to sign on as a client with them. Specifically, they offered me $10,000 in exchange for signing with them as a client. That was according to the affidavit of Shannon Champagne, another former Buzbee client. Okay, so moving on to the next page here. This is really interesting because they now state, defendant's scheme is summarized in the following recording transcript. What we're trying to do is we are trying to put this thing together for the company that we're working for. We could get you paid. You could get money right soon, you know. We gave this kid $1,000 to start yesterday just to get him on the right path. At the end of the day, this is going to go through the courts. Buzbee is getting sued. As part of their scheme, the defendants attempted to use the plaintiff Gerardo Garcia as a pawn. On behalf of defendant Mary Croft, two individuals approached the plaintiff. They were pushy. They told him he had to talk to them because they were with the state. They told him that they were putting together a lawsuit on behalf of defendant Mary Croft and the company that she was working for, and that she would assign his case to someone who could get him a lot of money. Thankfully, rather than go along with their illegal efforts, the plaintiff recorded them instead. He now files suit for barratry, both a crime and a civil action in the state of Texas. This is just one of multiple cases to be filed by plaintiffs who have been illegally solicited by investigators working as part of a cabal headquartered in New York City. Defendants have a long history of the type of abusive and egregious conduct described herein. Because they have gotten away with it for so long, defendants think they can come down to Texas and do whatever they choose with impunity. They are wrong. Their behavior will have consequences both civilly and criminally. Oh my heavens. The lawyers are pulling in geographic regions saying, you ain't coming down to Texas and get away with what you get away with up in New York. Oh my heaven. I mean, this is parties. Plaintiff Garcia is a resident of Texas and Harris County. Defendant Marcy Bryan Croft is a Texas licensed attorney and a self-admitted member of Team Rock. She can be served through the Texas Secretary of State, and they give her office address. It says Marcy's connection with defendants Rock Nation and Quinn Emanuel is plainly demonstrated below. And then they give a number of different what appear to be social media posts. And so I'm going to show you on the screen here. They're giving a number of social media posts that show Marcy Croft's connection with Rock Nation and Jay-Z. There we go. Not the most flattering of photos, but okay. Kind of odd positioning. But anyways. So here we go. Who am I to judge, right? So next, when we continue here with the complaint, it says that defendant MJ Legal PA is a business corporation law firm performing legal services in Texas. This defendant can be served through the Texas Secretary of State at her office via personal service to March Bryan Croft. They meant to say Marcy Bryan Croft, and they gave her address. Defendant Rock Nation LLC is a limited liability company organized in Delaware and headquartered in New York. This defendant can be served through the Texas Secretary of State via their registered agent, and then they list the registered agent. Defendant Quinn Emanuel, Hart and Sullivan LLP is a limited liability partnership which can be served at this location. Defendant Jessica Santiago is a resident of Harris County, Texas, and can be served via personal service at her home address in Harris County or wherever she may be found. Then they talk about venue, which is basically just a fancy way of saying that we are allowed to file in this court. That's what venue and jurisdiction is. Discovery control plan. Let's talk about this. So, the discovery control plan, plaintiff Garcia intends to conduct discovery under level 3 of Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 190.4 and affirmatively pleads that this suit is not governed by the expedited actions process in Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 169 because plaintiff requests injunctive relief and plaintiff seeks monetary relief over $100,000. Here's the evidence. This filing is supported by the following evidence, which is attached and incorporated herein. Transcript of defendant Jessica Santiago and Gerardo Garcia. Transcript of defendant's agent and Skylar Taylor. Affidavit of Skylar Taylor and affidavit of Shannon Champagne. On behalf of two clients, Tony Buzbee and the Buzbee Law Firm sent demand letters to Sean Jay-Z Carter's attorneys in New York. The letters made no monetary demand. They only sought a confidential sit-down to discuss the client's allegations. In response to the two letters, defendant Quinn Emanuel filed suit against the Buzbee Law Firm. That suit alleged that the firm was trying to extort Sean Jay-Z Carter. That lawsuit was and is frivolous and will be dismissed. Several weeks later, the Buzbee Law Firm, on behalf of one of the clients who sent a demand letter, filed a lawsuit against Mr. Carter. At or around that time, defendant's conspiracy began. As part of that conspiracy, current and former clients of the Buzbee Law Firm began receiving solicitations from investigators asking current and former clients to sue the Buzbee Law Firm. Okay. Then it says the investigators used burner phones. Oh my gosh, not burner phones, y'all. Many times the investigators used fake names or flashed badges or credentials, but would not let the clients see them. During some of the contacts, the investigators were pushy, and in at least two, they pretended to be acting on behalf of the state of Texas. Several of these calls were caught on either camera or tape. In each instance, the investigators were careful not to disclose on whose behalf they were working, for good reason. The defendants in this case did not want to disclose their participation in the flagrant violation of Texas law. Flagrant violation, y'all. Indeed, these defendants openly and brazenly violated Texas criminal laws dozens of times. One such target of defendant solicitation was plaintiff Gerardo Garcia. Mr. Garcia is a resident of Harris County. He was injured in a Jones Act lawsuit and hired the Buzbee law firm to represent him. His case was settled in 2020, and he was happy with the resolution of his case and had no complaints with the Buzbee law firm. Nearly 5 years later, after his case had resolved, not seeking to hire a lawyer or file a lawsuit, Mr. Garcia was contacted out of the blue by two, quote, investigators. This contact was an illegal solicitation and was made on behalf of and as part of a conspiracy involving defendant Marcy Croft, Rock Nation, and Quinn Emanuel. One of these investigators identified herself as Jessica Santiago. These two investigators approached Mr. Garcia at his home and flashed a badge. They told Plaintiff Garcia several times that they were from the state. They asked Mr. Garcia if he was unhappy with his settlement from 2020 and whether they could see his settlement documents. They were pushy. They followed this up by explaining to him that they were with the state, but could connect him with a private lawyer so that he could sue the Buzbee law firm. They told Garcia several times that there was, quote, money in this for you. These investigators' requests became increasingly aggressive and hostile. At some point, defendants' agents demanded Mr. Garcia produce his medical records. Wow. If that's true, there's going to be, I think, some issues here. And offered him money to hire the private lawyer to sue the Buzbee law firm. Mr. Garcia decided to call the Buzbee law firm and report the conduct. Despite her best efforts in disguising the identities of those she was working for, investigator Jessica Santiago was caught on tape disclosing to Mr. Garcia that she was working for an attorney named Marcy Croft at the law firm MJ Legal PA. Defendant Marcy Croft is an attorney in Jackson, Mississippi. Defendant MJ Legal is the law firm Ms. Croft purportedly owns. I love how they said purportedly. Purportedly is a word that you use when you're like, she allegedly owns this. She claims to own this. I mean, listen, it's either a fact she owns it or she doesn't own it. So you don't need to say purportedly. Just state the fact. Does she own it or does she not own it? So Mrs. Croft advertises herself as a member of Team Rock. Moreover, Ms. Croft advertises that she has become actively involved with criminal justice reform and prison reform alongside Rock Nation's philanthropic arm, Team Rock. She further advertises herself as being involved in numerous litigation actions pending on behalf of Team Rock, families, and hundreds of incarcerated men. Marcy Croft has worked with Rock Nation for years alongside Quinn Emanuel's Alex Spiro. Spiro and Quinn Emanuel are currently opposing the Buzbee law firm in at least 2 cases. Here's the causes of action, okay? Let's get into it, friends. Here's the causes of action. This is the crux of the legal case, all right? The crux of the legal case is when you look at the filings, you look at what claims are being brought. And I want to go out here, remind everyone to subscribe if you're getting value from this stream, because we are growing our channel and it's gotten over 40,000 views in its first couple of weeks. We come to you live every single day for daily live streams. We have real legal pleadings such as these, and we give you the inside scoop. We go through the legal pleadings and we talk about the legal issues that are occurring right now within celebrity news, pop culture, entertainment news. And I want to let you know, friends, that we are running a giveaway. So the giveaway is on our giveaway video. And if you go ahead and click onto the giveaway link, you can enter for a chance to win an Amazon gift card at the end of this month. So moving forward, when we look at the causes of action here, we see that they are bringing a cause of action for something called barratry/solicitation under Texas Penal Code. They claim that defendant Rock Nation LLC, in conspiracy with Quinn Emanuel, orchestrated and instructed defendants Marcy Croft and MJ Legal to send agents/private investigators in Texas to the homes of the firm's ex-clients who were also in Texas. One of those ex-clients was plaintiff Gerardo Garcia. Once there, these agents and their investigators solicited employment for defendant Croft and defendant MJ Legal. Each of these defendants offered money to plaintiff to hire defendant Croft and sue the firm. To add insult to injury, these investigators sent by defendant acted as if they were government officials or police officers, even going so far as to brandish a badge and tell Mr. Garcia that they were from the state. Defendant Rock Nation is knowingly financing the commission of these criminal offenses and is therefore guilty of same. Quinn Emanuel is assisting in the conspiracy and has publicly lied about its involvement, and has also told its lawyers to lie directly to a state court judge in Texas about its involvement. The next cause of action is for civil conspiracy. So here's what Gerardo Garcia has to say. He says that the defendants make up more than two persons who sought to accomplish a goal of committing barratry and soliciting clients to sue the Buzbee law firm. All defendants had a meeting of the minds on this organized criminal conduct and then took many unlawful acts to accomplish this criminal conduct. Kind of repetitive, aren't you there? As a result, plaintiffs suffered damages in an amount to be proven at trial. I will say that the Buzbee law firm does not draft their pleadings as well as Quinn Emanuel. Quinn Emanuel, Jay-Z's attorneys, they write so much better than Tony Buzbee's law firm. They tell narrative better. They're not repetitive. They keep you engaged. Whereas this complaint, it's like, punitive damages. Defendant's conduct was committed with actual malice, and as such, plaintiff seeks exemplary damages against the defendants. Moreover, because this involves the violation of a criminal statute, no damage caps are applicable to plaintiff's damages. As a proximate result of defendant's conduct, plaintiff has suffered damages in an amount to be proven at trial. So now let's move on to the damages portion of the complaint to see what they're alleging. This plaintiff, a former client of Tony Buzbee, is claiming that as a direct and proximate result of the occurrence made the basis of this lawsuit, plaintiff suffered injury. Just say plaintiff suffered injury as a direct and proximate result of the acts of the defendants. Don't say, plaintiff seeks the following damages pursuant to Texas law. Compensatory damages in amount to be proven at trial, consequential and special damages in amount to be proven at trial, exemplary damages, interest on damages, pre and post judgment in accordance with law, cost of court, attorney's fees, and such other and further relief to which the plaintiff is entitled. They demand for a jury. Plaintiff respectfully demands a jury trial on these issues where appropriate. Conclusion and prayer. Upon trial of this matter, plaintiff respectfully prays for judgment as follows: that the defendants be restrained as set forth herein. The court enter judgment in favor of plaintiff for damages permitted by law, such other relief at law or in equity to which plaintiff may be justly entitled. And then this is signed off by Anthony Buzbee himself. Anthony Buzbee is the lawyer who is in such hot water right now. He sent a demand letter to Jay-Z. He asked for mediation privately. Jay-Z called his bluff and sued him anonymously. But then Tony Buzbee responded by then naming Jay-Z publicly as a co-defendant with Sean Diddy Combs and on behalf of an anonymous victim. And this is, friends, this whole legal saga has been heated up ever since October, and it was in the works. All of this was a brewing in September when Sean Diddy Combs was arrested after a year of being investigated by federal prosecutors. Combs was arrested in September. He is currently being held without bail in Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York. He has been denied bail several times, and he has just most recently given up on his fight to be released pre-trial. He withdrew his appeal just this past week, and he has pretty much surrendered himself to be able to be staying in jail until his May 2025 trial. He will go to trial on May 5th, 2025, before a jury of his peers. Well, maybe not his peers. And then this whole situation with Jay-Z came about because Jay-Z got roped into Sean Diddy Combs' legal battles because this lawyer, Tony Buzbee from this Texas personal injury firm, named Jay-Z as a co-defendant in a lawsuit on behalf of an anonymous accuser, claiming that Jay-Z was involved with Sean Diddy Combs in an alleged assault in 2000. This is 24 years ago, friends, at an after party to the MTV Music Video Awards in the year 2000. And I have so many videos on my channel about this, so many live streams. Go through the playlists. I've covered every aspect of this case, both the criminal aspects in the Sean Diddy prosecution, the civil lawsuits that have come out of the woodworks against Sean Diddy Combs. Many of these lawsuits have been filed by Tony Buzbee. Then he pulls Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee pulls Jay-Z into this whole mix by naming him in a refiled lawsuit in federal court in New York. And this is after after Tony Buzbee sent Jay-Z a demand letter where he was allegedly attempting to extort money from Jay-Z if Jay-Z would just pay him hush money to not have this go through the court system. Well, guess what? Jay-Z called his bluff, and Jay-Z sued Tony Buzbee in Los Angeles court. And he sued anonymously and said, I am the unnamed celebrity who Tony Buzbee is referencing in this lawsuit that he filed against Sean Diddy Combs. And then Tony Buzbee responded by publicly naming Jay-Z and officially bringing Jay-Z's name, Sean Carter, into the lawsuit that he refiled in New York. And there's been a lot of controversy about this because Jay-Z's attorneys, Quinn Emanuel, are claiming that Tony Buzbee did not do his research before filing the case on behalf of the anonymous accuser against Jay-Z. They claim that she told NBC News a whole different set of facts than what she put in her complaint that Tony Buzbee filed. So, for example, in her complaint that Tony Buzbee filed, the anonymous accuser says that on the night that she was allegedly assaulted by Jay-Z, her father came and picked her up, and that he drove 5 hours to pick her up at a gas station. Well, guess what? The NBC News report showed that her father had no recollection of that. He said, well, I think I would remember that, and I don't have any recollection of that. I didn't know about this assault until I was interviewed. So honestly, that's a huge glaring inadequacy. She also wrote in her complaint that was filed by Tony Buzbee that she spoke with Benji Madden of Good Charlotte on the night that she was allegedly assaulted by Jay-Z. But then in the NBC News report, it turned out that Benji Madden was not even at that after party. He was touring overseas. So that couldn't have possibly happened. And Jay-Z's lawyers are going hard at this victim. They are going hard at her. They filed something with the court to try to compel her to identify herself. They're saying to the court she either needs to identify who she is so that Jay-Z can properly defend himself against her allegations, or the court should dismiss her complaint. And that's what they're alleging. They also have gone hard to the paint and said that she has glaring inaccuracies, glaring inconsistencies in her story, and that we want to move to strike the complaint against Jay-Z. She just filed that this week. Jay-Z just filed that this week. A motion to strike the complaint as it relates to him. He's pretty much like, you can leave Sean Diddy Combs in this lawsuit, but I want out of this lawsuit. So Jay-Z's lawyers are earning their fees, friends. They are getting paid a lot. I have multiple videos of live streams about Jay-Z and the entire Sean Diddy Combs drama. So subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified of my daily live streams. I thank you guys so much for all of your comments. I've been doing my best to answer every single one of them. Thank you guys so much for tuning in our first 2 weeks as a new YouTube channel. We have gotten over 40,000 views, friends, and I'm so thankful to all of you. Kindly subscribe and help grow the channel. It helps me continue to be here live with you every day. I look forward to continuing to cover this lawsuit. I look forward to continuing to see what happens with this Jay-Z lawsuit. Because if the allegations are true, then I certainly have empathy for the anonymous accuser. But if they are not true, then listen, Jay-Z's reputation has been dragged through the mud for no reason if these allegations are not true or if there's mistakes. if Tony Buzbee did not do his job in researching these claims. So let me know in the comments, guys, what do you think? Let me know, friends, and I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow. I will be back on this channel live, and I hope that you guys have a great night. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified of my daily live streams. I will continue to be live with you every day, friends. Thank you so much, and I bring you the real stuff. As an attorney myself, I find this fascinating, all of the legal drama that's going on right now. We have so many seminal cases going on right now in the celebrity news, and I look forward to speaking and sharing with you all of it. Thank you so much, friends, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.